And we're back, everyone, for game 2 here between Warmother's Children and Glacial Omen. Both these teams here trying their best to get a win. Warmother's Children on a losing streak, and this week particular has been extremely streaky, it looks like, with teams just sweeping one way or another, and Glacial Omen swept in game 1 here. So it's up to Warmother's Children to bounce back and really find a way to sort of fire back and make sure that they don't just go out in a 2-0 sweep here. And now it's going to be Warmother's Children on the blue side. No changes to either rosters here, and they're still going to lose that ban for using Isa Prout bottom, Jack Prout bottom, and their ban still going to be the Vladimir Sejuani in the first phase here. So they continue to feel like those two are the biggest problems. They're going to ban Thresh out in the second phase, though. Don't want Willowfaven to get those death sentences just coming out one after another, constantly finding hooks. And the Irelia, once again, for Zero Zen, don't want to give him that champion he can pop out on. But honestly, his Renekton was just as big an issue, if not more so here. And on the side of Glacial Omen, they're banning out the Yasuo, Yuumi, Wukong, Ornn, and Maokai. So this time, they're letting the Zed through. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable letting Deathstone get some assassins here. They thought the Wukong from Jack Prout bottom was a bigger deal. And now we do see the picks from Warmother's Children. It's going to be Lulu, Dr. Mundo, Xayah, Mordekaiser, and Talon. So once again, the Talon for Deathstone, I believe he's played it once before. Did end up losing that game, though. Did have struggled to sort of have an impact in the game. We'll have to see if that, if he can change that for this one here. And Dr. Mundo for Jack Prout bottom. This is one of his most played champions here. And as a jungler, Mundo has fairly quick clear, but very, very poor ganks. Relies a lot on his lane setting up for him or on hitting immobile lanes with those cleavers again and again and again. But I do like the adaptation to give the Mordekaiser over to Curtis Rocks. That will give them the AP damage they need if they're running at Talon in the mid lane there. Glacial Omen doesn't see a reason to switch their picks up too much here. They're going to go Misfortune, Jarvan, Cassiopeia, Galio, and Tryndamere. So interesting pick on the Tryndamere. It's the first time we're seeing the Tryndamere here in the Coalition League. But of any player to play it, it would make sense to give it to Zero Zen, especially the way he's been playing currently, dominating his lane there. If he can get a hit on that Tryndamere, he can pretty much 1v5 and just win the game for his team. So it shows the trust that Glacial Omen have in Zero Zen to give him this champion here, and it also is a very, very solid counter pick into the Mordekaiser as well. Can go toe-to-toe. The Death Realm can be nullified by the Tryndamere ultimate as well. That invincibility makes it very, very hard to take him down. So solid choice for Glacial Omen's top lane. I'm really liking that pick there. The rest of the team composition, though, they've left it pretty much the same. They had to change up the Thresh, but putting a Galio instead, that's just a solid pick into their composition. Plug and play there will be able to help with that. And we've seen Willowhaven play the Galio. He can still play it extremely aggressively as well. Might struggle a little bit into the Lulu Xayah, though, since both of those are ranged champions, and can sort of poke him from afar. But we'll have to see if he's able to just adapt around that and if it makes a huge difference or not here. Now teams are rolling onto the Rift. We're gonna join them here as both teams coming in. Toshongyun playing with the skin there, changing up the colors quite a bit. It's a fun, nice skin. Quite like it, and it looks like we might actually get an invade here. Glacial Omen, knowing that they're actually up right now in the series, can afford to take the risk right now of going in and looking for that level 1 fight. Keep in mind, this was the team that did botch up their invade last week, where they got collapsed. 4 people running into 5 and just getting slaughtered. Their extended tour not working up well, but this time they're gonna just find only Curtis Rocks, get a bit of poke down. Not much. They are not. Oh, they did actually get a aggressive deep ward here on the blue buff. We'll be able to track where Jack Prout bottom is starting. Now, Mundo not a jungler that requires a lot of ganks to get going there, so just by farming up really is what he's going to be targeting in the early game. And we are seeing fleet footwork Mundo as well. A lot of times you do see the Grasp of the Undying, even in the jungle, gives a nice boost and does skill off his max health. Fleet footwork will give him a bit more sustain instead, as well as a little burst of damage, but not necessarily the biggest thing here. We'll have to see how that Mundo pick works out, because it did fall out of favor for a reason here. And I actually just want to focus a lot onto this mid lane between Deathstone and Ishan. Because Deathstone on this town, we've seen talents get rolling, and once, if they are ahead, they can start getting every lane ahead, and they're so slippery, they're so hard to kill. But they have to sort of get to that ahead position first. If they're not ahead, then they're going to struggle a lot to try and get anything done. Top lane, Zero Zen and Curtis just going to trade at it right now, and Zero Zen started the spin skill there, spin to win. He did not start his heal. So in those extended level 1 trades, he's not going to be able to win those against Curtis Rocks. But then again, there's also a chance of crits. He's going to go in aggressively, and the Ignite, he gets first blood. Prove me wrong, why don't you, Zero Zen? And that level 2 there, coming in just in time, and just manages to get his first blood there. And that's going to be a nightmare here for the side of Warmother's children. That is one person you do not want to see get ahead. Not only because of the champion, but because of who's playing it as well. Zero Zen knows how to push his leads. Bot lane, Twice Jongyeon trying to zone out a little bit. It's a bit early to really set up a freeze here. Not to mention it's a little difficult against a double ranged bot lane, but Twice Jongyeon still looking quite comfortable in that bot lane. We are now seeing a potential gank. Chaotic Obsidian level 3 is very low. Has to be careful that doesn't get turned on him. Deathstone does have Ignite and quite a bit of burst on this Talon. Pardon me, and we do see the flag and drag come across. Damage is coming out, and there you go. That's the burst you have to be careful of from a level 3 Talon. It's going to be Chaotic Obsidian going down here. Flash going to be used from Deathstone, and he's just going to hop over a wall, and he manages to pick up a kill. That's just Deathstone knowing his win condition, knowing his power spikes, and unfortunately Chaotic Obsidian not familiar with playing against the Talon there, not recognizing, not respecting the damage spike there. And that's going to be double buffs here for Deathstone as well, so he's going to have plenty of mana to farm this one out in the mid lane, can just spam that rake out over and over again. Now it's Proud Bottom's turn here, but he sat on top of a ward and will get spotted, so Ishan just going to wisely back off, hover that bot side instead. Now we do see the MF already starting to put down some punishment onto Viperisk and Ancient Fear here. Just punishing them every time they step up, but the range on that Misfortune not terribly long. We'll have to see how that one goes. In Chaotic Obsidian, after that failed gank in the mid game, now looking down into the bot lane. The taunt comes out, the knock-up as well onto Ancient Fear, but they didn't stack the timing quite right. So they will be able to get out, and now Willowhaven extremely low, will survive for now. Mid lane, Ishan and Deathstone just trading here. Deathstone has to be careful. He's got double buffs, but the poison is taking. Conqueror is activated now for Ishan here. And he's going to run right into the waiting arms of Chaotic Obsidian. Chaotic Obsidian getting his revenge kill onto Deathstone there. And both junglers might just meet up here, but it's Proud Bottom who has the level advantage. He has the health disadvantage, so Flag and Drag comes across. Will not find the knockup, but it will be enough to get Chaotic Obsidian in range to start poking down onto Jack Proud Bottom. Chaotic Obsidian winning that one despite being down in levels. Does have to be careful though. He is very deep in the enemy jungle, and we could see a collapse. Talon very quick at navigating that jungle there. Looks like Deathstone, despite the pings coming down, is not going to move, and Chaotic Obsidian will be able to take these Krugs instead. Top lane, Curtis Rocks seeming to have negated a lot of that early damage he took from that poor level 1 trade. It's Zero Zen who's fairly low on health right now, and one thing to note, Curtis Rocks does have to teleport, did not use it early, so he actually walked into lane, missed a bunch of CS, and still now is up CS and able to zone Zero Zen out. Zero Zen taking the Ignite instead. He's looking for kills, as you need to do on a Tryndamere here. And he needs to dodge those claws, because every time he just gets hit by those claws there, he takes a bunch of damage. Is going to go back to base, go and shop a little bit here. Does have a pretty penny to spend, 1,500, and Chaotic Obsidian now picking up that Mountain Drake for himself. And that's one thing about the side of Glacial Omen. Oftentimes they do kind of abandon Chaotic Obsidian in the early game, and he does tend to have a bit of a rough start to the game. But his control over the objectives has been something that's been able to help his team, despite him being down in levels, in gold, in map pressure. We do see pings coming down onto Jack Proud Bottom. Looks like he got spotted out. I'm not sure by what. But they will know he's there. They're just going to leave him for now. Zero Zen opting to just continue pushing this top side. Does have to be careful though. Should be able to hit 6. There we go. Now we'll be safe in case of a turret dive. We do see now Chaotic Obsidian making his way up as well, but he's only level 4. Has to be extremely careful. He's almost 2 levels. He is 2 levels down, pardon me, from Curtis Rock. So if he gets dragged into Death Realm, they might be able to trade back 1 for 1. And he is going to walk past that control ward. He's going to try and clear it up now. And Zero Zen just aggressively going in. Can just choose to use the ultimate. Is he going to do so? The Undying Range will get him out right into Proud Bottom. But the flag and drag here from Chaotic Obsidian. And Proud Bottom is 6. Has the sadism available. Will pop it here. Chaotic Obsidian only level 4. This is not a fight he wants to continue taking here. He's getting chunked and Proud Bottom's just getting healthier. Now Death Zone has arrived, hopping over all those walls. Can he find anything? Ishan following, but Ishan is much slower here. Cannot purchase boots. Deathstone looking to try and pick Zero Zen up. Zero Zen running potentially the wrong way. Nope, he manages to get out. A good spin out as Ishan gets there first. And Deathstone not able to find anything on that roam there. Really well played from Zero Zen and Chaotic Obsidian. Just splitting up, buying time to make sure they don't go down there. Unfortunately for Curtis Rocks, he ends up going down once again, the only casualty of that little skirmish in the top side. But that skirmish does mean that Curtis doesn't lose much at all because Zero Zen could not farm, missed out pretty much all the CS as well in that top side. Bot lane, Willow Haven and Twice Jonghyun are punishing incredibly well. Surprisingly, they are pretty much zoning out Viperisk and Ancient Fear a little bit. Ancient Fear doing a good job once again of just CSing under turret for now, but that's not a position you want to be in. Xayah does skill extremely well, so we could potentially see a late game sort of Xayah take over here. But Viper is getting caught out once more on the Lulu. Is a bit tankier, but will not be able to survive once again. Ancient Fear firing back, trying to find Twice Jonghyun, but will not be able to do so. Now Deathstone jumping over all the walls here, trying to find something. Willowhaven able to Justice punch his way to safety, and Deathstone left once again with nothing. Has to flash out actually as the taunt comes out. Chaotic Obsidian with the flag and drag. Still no Cataclysm available though. Cannot continue this chase for now. And Ishan always trailing behind. He's 0-0-1. Having problems trying to find any assists because he can't buy boots. And so by the time he slithers anywhere, the fight's already over compared to Deathstone just hopping over walls and just running in straight lines here. In the bot lane, Ancient Fear actually manages to find Willow Haven. Unfortunately, couldn't quite see what happened there. It looks like Willow Haven might have turned back around without Twice Jonghyun, but that's still a free kill going the way of Ancient Fear, and Warmother's children kind of needs it at this point. But to be fair, they're having a much better game 2 than game 1. They're only 400 gold behind at 9 minutes. Last game, they were already about 1,000 or so gold at this point behind. So having a much better time of it across the lanes here. Really only mid lane falling behind a little bit. And a lot of that's just because Deathstone 9 has been roaming so heavily, which is expected of a Talon. And now Twice Jonghyun actually mixing up the build. Gonna rush that Mana Mute instead. Not that lethality build we saw last game. Most likely an adaptation to seeing that he's going to have a lot more tanks to chew through here. With Curtis Rock's going to get a bit tanky, and Jack Prop bottom on that Mundo is going to be nigh unkillable if you go lethality here. You see Curtis Rock's teleporting into that top lane. Does have Ninja Tabbies for himself as well as the Kindle Gem. So we'll have a slightly better time of it, but still Zero Zen with that lethal tempo, more than happy to just go in there. Being dragged into the death realm, he still has the Undying Rage available, and I'm not sure that's good for Curtis Rocks. Curtis Rocks now getting dragged into there, but he was just buying time for Jack Proud Bottom to come up, and the flash coming up from Jack as he gets the flash there, and the pull back onto Zero Zen means he's gonna go down, but it's gonna be Proud Bottom sneaking that kill away from Curtis there. Must have been a cleaver. He's going to get the shutdown gold. It's only a measly 150 gold bounty, but every little bit helps here. He's going to rotate immediately on to Shelly there. Will get spotted out by a ward, but there's no Zero Zen to try and stop anything. Instead, you've got Chaotic Obsidian here in the bot side of the map. He's going to go for the dragon instead, seeing Proud Bottom go for that Herald. Really good adaptation. I've said it before already, but I really appreciate the way Chaotic Obsidian very focused on these objectives and very smart about which ones to take as well. Knows he can't contest the Herald right now. Instead, just goes over to that bot side instead. And that's going to be a trade of these neutral objectives for now. And with the bot lane and top lane turrets here for the side of Glacial Omen a little low, we could potentially see Shelly just being dropped and get first turret in one of the two side lanes there. Ocean Drake going to get picked up by Glacial Omen, and for the first time this series. They're actually going to be down gold, down about 400 gold for themselves here, and that's good for Warmother's children. Good adaptation as they recover after game 1. Willowhaven taking a lot of damage here. I'm not sure what he's waiting around for. And we see the wild growth come out on Ancient Fear. I'm not quite sure why, but they are potentially going to be able to get a kill. The pullback from the feathers will not be able to land, but just one more auto is all they need. Flashing in, Ancient Fear picking up this one, but it took so long that Chaotic Obsidian has arrived, and they're putting out the damage. Bullet time comes across. They get the kill. The wild growth wore off, and now Viperous going to be at the tender mercies of Chaotic Obsidian there. The flag comes down, and that's enough to secure the kill. Top lane, Zero Zen finding Prop Bottom coming back for a gang. The sadism this time, not enough to keep him alive. And is that an Essence Reaver here onto Zero Zen? Interesting choice. There is no mana here for Tryndamere, but the crit will certainly be nice as well as the attack damage. So can't complain too much. The cooldown reduction as well. Interesting choice. And now he is getting dragged into the Death Realm. No one Dying Rage available for him right now, but Curtis Rocks made the interesting choice of dragging him to the Death Realm and then walking away. So not quite sure what the thought there was, but either way, Zero Zen will be able to get out, and that's the ultimate on Mordekaiser down for the next little while. On the bot side, we do see Death Town potentially getting caught out. Unfortunately, Justice Punch from Willowhaven misses up and he hits the Cataclysm instead, and Deathstone somehow surviving here. They left him alive. They thought he was dead. Instead, they turned on Jack Bottom. And Proud Bottom actually goes down, and Deathstone somehow surviving 1-1-0 right now for Deathstone. Has to be careful though, because Chaotic Obsidian looking to try and finish what they started will not be able to find, unfortunately. And it's going to be top lane instead, where a kill goes down as Curtis Rocks gets soloed by Zero Zen there. He was already kind of low, and just the Tryndamere starting to pop off here for Zero Zen, and we already identified in the picks and bans that is something you cannot have happen on the side of Warmother's children. They have 2 late game hyper carries, and that's the Cassiopeia for Shan as well as the Tryndamere. Now bot lane, the flag and drag coming in from Chaotic Obsidian. Wild Growth buying time, but unfortunately for them, Willowhaven is tanky enough. He's going to go golden using the stopwatch for now and will be able to get out because Ancient Fear can't step past his turret line there, or he might go down. Viper is not having a good series here on these squishy enchanter supports. Has been constantly the focus of this bot lane. As soon as they catch him, they kill him. And that's a question of whether, is he potentially out of position quite a bit here for Viperisk, or is it just that, you know, he's being abandoned? It's hard to say since we haven't been really seeing much in the bot lane unless there have been kills going down here. But either way, Vipers needs to play a little bit safer here, or he's gonna let the enemy side snowball beyond what Ancient Fear can handle. Now we take a quick look at the items here for the side of Glacial Omen. They're starting to complete their first major buys. They've got the Essence Reaver in that top lane for Zero Zen, looking like he's might be building into the Infinity Edge, possibly with that pickaxe, with the Agility Cloak in the jungle. The Cinder Hulk completed for Chaotic Obsidian, but he's actually behind the curve compared to Proud Bottom right now. And in the mid lane, we do see the Archangel staff being picked up from Ishan, and now Viperous is once again going to get caught out here, out of position, will get caught in the jungle, will go down, but it did buy Ancient Fear enough time to get himself the first turret of the game. Mid lane, we see Ishan trying to teleport his way to safety, will get burst down instead. Fights breaking out across the map as Zero Zen able to pick up yet another solo kill, and now Proud Bottom Deathstone showing up into the bot lane here. It's going to be a 3v3 potential. The Herald getting dropped in the mid lane, and Shelly gets a ton of damage onto that mid lane there because Ishan was already dead. And Warmother's children actually firing back really well. Ancient Fear getting that bot lane turret and getting out alive despite the teleport we saw trying to come out to collapse there. Might potentially get caught out a little bit. Nope, does dodge the flag and drag. Cataclysm is available, but Chaotic Obsidian didn't want to use it before the ultimate from Ancient Fear. The Featherstorm was used. It looks like they're going to try and hold this one here. Vipers is now back from base, has rejoined the bot lane, so Twice Jonghyun and Willowhaven most likely going to have to give up on this push for now. Now Zero Zen leaving that top lane here. He's way ahead of the curve. Level 12, highest in the game by quite a bit right now, looking to get down there. Vipers getting caught once again. He's now 0-5-1 here. Like every time we look at Vipers, he's just getting caught and killed. I don't know what to say to that. Curtis Rocks teleporting into this bot side, but He's running into his own nemesis here, Zero Zen, who's looking to try and get the kill. The Ignite is onto him. It's going to be twice Jonghyun with that last auto there to make sure he goes down. And Zero Zen going to keep on going here. He still has the Undying Rage. He's going to use it. Bullet Time coming across. Will not find a kill, but instead the heroic entrance is going to knock Prop Bottom up for now. Is there any healing cut available? No, there isn't. So that Sadism going to just keep on healing him there. He doesn't care. And meanwhile, Chaotic Obsidian, that laser focus on objectives, going to secure themselves the Cloud Drake. And they're suddenly at Cloud Soul Point again. And from the initial laning phase, it's just becoming a bit of a mess right now. The dive coming in, Chaotic Obsidian finally going to use that Cataclysm. And they're going to be able to find Ancient Fear. Finally, they're picking up the double here for Twice Jonghyun on to Viperus. And this time, it wasn't that he got caught out. He was caught in. There was nowhere to run. He was under his turret, caught in the Cataclysm. And that's going to be the bot lane turret going down as well. Mid lane now, the next focus, Zero Zen pushing that one here. And with that 3-level lead, Deathstone has to think twice about fighting this one. You can see the chunk go down, and that's going to be Deathstone dead under his own turret. He barely stepped out past the turret line there. And despite a seemingly good start from Warmother's children, it looks like everything going south for them right now. Proud Bottom getting caught out. No sadism this time to heal him up. He's going to flash away, but Zero Zen can just keep chasing. And now it's going to be Curtis Rocks, but the Undying Rage has already come off cooldown right now. He can keep on chasing. What is Curtis Rocks going to do? He's going to drag into the Death Realm and go down. Unfortunate for him. Yet another kill. 8-1-2 right now for Zero Zen. He's taken over this one. Glacial Omen now 19-5 right now. The beginning of the game was a lot closer, but the 20-minute mark looking a lot worse right now. 6,300 gold difference right now at 18.5 minutes here. There's a lot more turrets, and that gold lead will grow the moment Glacial Omen finds the chance to start taking down these turrets. And we did see the Herald being picked up as well by Chaotic Obsidian after Prop Bottom got taken down trying to do it. So they can drop the Herald, look to force an objective here instead. It's going to be a really early soul as well for them now. Herald being dropped in the jungle. Very oddly positioned. Perhaps he was trying to get a ward. Instead, they're going to find Prop Bottom, and they're going to be able to maybe take him down. No, Wall Growth going to keep him alive for now. Chaotic Obsidian going to go golden. That buys him time. Will not go down to Deathstone. Instead, Deathstone dead right now. And they might turn this around. Prop Bottom has to be careful. He's being isolated, caught, and collapsed on. Zero Zen now going to turn the Undying Rage on. That thing looks like it's always on cooldown, and that's partially from the Cloud Drakes. They find Vipers as well. Just absolutely popping him. The feathers from Ancient Fear will tag them, slow them up for now. Now Curtis Rocks looking to try and pick up Willow Haven here, but the taunt is good. They take him down. They do manage to find Chaotic Obsidian in the mess of that, but that's a 1-for-4 here. Definitely not worth it. They did manage to stop Shelly, though, from actually getting the charge off. Questionable positioning from Chaotic Obsidian. Most likely was just trying to clear a ward and forgot he had the Eye of the Herald there. But they will still be able to get this outer mid lane turret here. And that's all the outer turrets down. Now for the side of Warmother's children, once again, they're in the familiar position of being on the back foot, and unfortunately so far we haven't seen Warmother's children seemingly able to bounce back when they're behind in a game, much less when they're 8,000 gold behind at 20 minutes here. And just to put that into context, 8,000 gold is more than 25% of the gold here. It's more than 20% of the gold here for the side of Warmother's children. So that's a huge lead at 20 minutes here, and converted into items. That means that Zero Zen, who's the most rich person in the game, over 10,000 right now, almost double the gold of Curtis Rocks, has himself a fully completed item and a half over his lane counterpart here. Now we do see Baron has spawned. It's the 20-minute mark here. And now once again, Zero Zen just aggressively going on to Curtis Rocks. He can just chase him down. Curtis can't run anywhere. Has the protobell, and he actually flashes away. I think Zero Zen messed that one up. He will flash in to get the last auto there. And that's going to put him deep behind enemy lines. But he's going to turn around. 3-shot Deathstone there. The Ignite's going to finish him off. And now it's Proud Bottom who has to be careful. Undying Rage still available. Can he find Ancient Fear? No, he cannot. He's going to go down. And that's going to be a massive shutdown for Ancient Fear. 700 gold bounty picked up there will be nice, but that was just the buy time for the rest of the team. There's no vision here for the side of Glacial Omen. They don't know Baron is being taken. And for the side of Glacial Omen, they've got the entrances warded. They know for sure no one's coming. So they'll be able to get themselves a very, very early Baron here. And now Viper is no flash available. Gonna get run down by Ishan. And he's now 0-8-3, tying with Curtis Rocks in that top lane for most deaths, 0-8-2. Ancient Fear did manage to be able to take at least that mid lane outer turret down, but that's the Baron they traded for it. At least the 8,000 gold lead not grown yet, but that's all about to change on this next push. Cloud Drake is up right now, and Glacial Omen have set their eyes on it. This will be Cloud Soul for them if they can get it. Scryer's Bloom being popped will give them temporary vision, but they don't have anything beyond that. The Control Ward actually still able to see that dragon a little bit, but it is going to get cleared out right now by Chaotic Obsidian here. And they're once more in the dark, not able to see anything here. Zero Zen opting to continue split pushing that top lane, does not have teleport, will not be able to join his team should a fight break out, and he has a ton of their gold right now. Willowhaven has the heroic entrance, is coming out from base right now. Will be able to rejoin his team at any time. And it looks like they might back off to this right now. The Drake already down to about 2,000 health. They need to engage that. And Chaotic Obsidian actually manages to steal this one. Well played from him. The Death Realm came out too late. So the smite will be good. And now the fight's getting turned. Proud Bottom going to go down along with Viperisk right now. And it is Deathstone running amok, trying to get anybody. He does manage to get Chaotic Obsidian, but will pay for it with his life. Ishan finishing him off, and Twice winning the ADC duel in the 1v1. This is going to be an ace in a 4v5 right now. That's a quadra for Ishan as well. Zero Zen gonna take this one down on the top side. He's pushing in, and that's the surrender from Warmother's children. Unfortunate for them, that was going to be game for sure. They were pushing in with Baron as well. 23-20 the time on this one, and this is not the way Warmother's children wants to end the season. They've not been able to find a win in now their last 3 series, and will be going to the playoffs on a losing streak. Hopefully they will be able to reset and come back strong in that best of 5 series here. And for the side of Glacial Omen, they continue undefeated right now. So they and they're the only undefeated team right now in the Demacia division. So looking really, really strong for themselves. I'll definitely have to move them up in the tier list here, because they were looking better than DOV Chaos in this last week here. And Zero Zen, as a top laner, you got to ban his Irelia. His Renekton's a problem, and now he's showing Tryndamere. What are you going to do? You've got to make sure that your top laner can hold his own against Zero Zen, or you're going to be seeing repeats of this where he goes 10-2-4, can just run into the middle of 4 people and walk away with 2 deaths. That's exactly what happened on that top side there. Absolute monster. Ishan getting his Cassiopeia once again. We've seen him play this champion quite a bit. It's almost a comfort pit, it looks like, for him. He does great in lane, and he skills up beautifully as well. So is it really worth banning out the Sejuani here? I'm not sure what teams going forward are going to do against a team like this, where there's so many carry threats. Not to mention, once again, the misfortune for Twice Jonghyun as well, working so well with these AoE team compositions. You can't full team fight them. You can't seem to deal. You can't split against them, because Zero Zen's usually the stronger split pusher. Teams are going to have to figure out what they want to do against this Glacial Omen team. Maybe the win lane, win strat. We'll have to see if Glacial Omen will be able to handle playing against teams like that. And with that, all the Demacia division teams have played, and the standings are as follows, with DOV Chaos in first place despite their loss to SF80. Warmother's children still sitting in second place with their early wins in the season there. SFAD, Glacial Omen, and Imagined Wagons all tied for third place right now at 6 points apiece. And Prismatic, having finally found themselves their first win of the season here, will be sitting in 6th place for now. So for the playoffs, it will be the bottom 4 teams playing next week. And in fact, we will actually have 2 of them playing tonight in about, let's see, it is 6 p.m. EST right now. So in about 2 hours time, just shy of that, we will actually be seeing SFAD face off against Imagine Wagon. So you won't want to miss the first game of the Demacian playoffs here. And with that, thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm Random Minion Caster. It's been great having you all around, and hope to see you guys in about 2 hours for a live stream of the first playoff games. See you soon.